Hello everybody, today is January 5th, 2021, and this is Ashley Fields with YRS. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. We are going to be working on our cat Valentine. So I do not have a finished product to show you. So when we get done with this, I will upload a photo. Give me just 1 second, I'm trying to get myself pulled up here so I can see comments. Hello Pam, how are you doing, honey? Hope you're doing well. Y'all, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been live, and if anybody's been paying attention to my posts, I've been doing construction in my shop. Hey Debbie, how are you, hun? And so, you know, usually after we finish our Christmas season, we have like a few weeks of chill downtime, but I have not seen any chill or downtime. So, in fact, it's been nuts. Hey Deborah, how are you, hun? I'm so glad you're here with me. Pam, Debbie, thank y'all so much for being here. You guys, if I'm being completely honest with y'all, I was working on this pattern today for probably 4 hours, and I repainted one of them 4 times because I did not like the way it was coming out. And so I finally threw up my hands and I said, whatever, I'm gonna just figure it out on my live what it is that I'm gonna do, because every other thing that I tried to do differently wasn't quite working. And so for me, animals, painting animals is something I think I'm really hard on myself with, and I don't necessarily enjoy painting animals as much as I do painting anything else that's not animal related. I find animals to be a little bit more difficult. That's just me personally. And so I attempted painting one of these earlier over and over and over again, and I didn't like the outcome. And I think the reason I did not like the outcome is because I kept trying to do stuff that I don't normally do. And so it just, you know, to me, it just didn't look too great. So I don't have a finished product because we're going to finish it together tonight. I have no idea what I'm going to do. We're just going to go with it and hope it turns out cute. Hey Phaedra, how are you doing, hun? I'm so glad y'all are here. Hey Kimberly. I'm so glad everybody's getting to join me tonight, y'all. I don't know about you guys, but it's the beginning of January, and I keep saying, oh, well, next year I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, wait, it is next year. It's kind of crazy. I feel like 2020 was the slowest yet fastest year ever. So I'm glad 2020 is over. I'm glad we're in a new year. But my brain is not quite wrapped around the fact that it is a new year. And so all the things I talked about that I need to be doing this year, it's here. It's time. It's time to get going on it. So thank y'all so much for joining me. Anybody who has already purchased this blank, this one doesn't have the color list on the back. But the only colors that I use that are not on the color list, which I will have to update, is I ended up doing sky blue down here on my bottom. And then I used a little bit of medium blue for the eyes. So if anybody already purchased this pattern, those 2 colors were not listed on the color palette. Excuse me, I just decided to put them in here today. So we are going to figure out what this is going to look like together. You guys, we have not run our CNC in 2 weeks, right? Because we've been doing construction. And in fact, I'm hoping tomorrow, the only thing I have left to do for construction is the doors here in my shop, which are getting delivered tomorrow. So like right now you can hear the air compressor going off, and it's really loud in here. I'm assuming it's loud for you guys too. But once I get the doors installed, hopefully in the next few days, that'll really, really help with kind of reducing the noise level in here. So, just to let you guys know, I did do 2 coats of white with a roller, which is why I did 2, because 1 coat with the roller is not enough. So I started with 2 coats of white. This is your regular gray. I think it's number 24. Medium blue, I want to say is number 4. Light pink, can't even pretend to know the number. I want to say it's like 16, but I'm not 100% sure. Red number 20, and then sky blue. Sky blue number 1? It might be number 1. Not 100% sure. But those are the colors I'm working with. So first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to start getting some shading on here. So I am using, this is a 1/2 inch shader. I don't even know who makes this. Lowell Cornell. what it says on my barcode. So 1/2 inch, I'm gonna say if this is numbered, it'd be close to like a number 12. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with, this is just a little bit of gray mixed with a couple of drops of black. So it's just a shade darker than the gray that we already have in our paint palette. So I'm gonna just start with this triangle tip, and I'm gonna go ahead and get some shading on this. Earlier, when those of you that were on here when I first got on here, I was telling you guys that I actually attempted to paint this today, and I spent several hours working on it, and I kept trying to do something different than what I normally do, and I honestly just could not get it to kind of be where I wanted it to be. And so I repainted a cat 4 times today. And so I finally ended up giving up on trying to change and do something a lot different because it was just really stressing me out that I could not get it to kind of work out the way I wanted it to. Have y'all ever had that, you know, in a project where you want your outcome to look a certain way, but you just can't seem to figure out how to achieve it? Because if you've ever had that struggle, that was my struggle today. Hey Victoria, hey Mom, how are y'all? So, because of that, I thought, okay, well, stop stressing yourself out because it doesn't do you any good. Do what you normally do and then come in and try to do, you know, extra. Like I think I'm gonna do my shading on the cat, and then I'm gonna come in with a rake brush. And honestly, like I said, I was trying all of these different techniques to try to really create the fur aspect. And whenever it comes to animals, I don't think that I have, I guess I don't know, not the courage isn't the right word. I guess it's like I don't believe in myself enough sometimes. And I just really struggled with this. And so whatever reason, if I'm really struggling with the pattern 9 times out of 10, it's because it's an animal. And I find, for me, animals are just a little bit harder because you really want to make sure that you're doing them as lifelike as possible, right? That's not always the easiest thing. So right now, I'm just doing a little perimeter shading. I'm not adding swish marks because I'm gonna come in with my rake brush and do that, which normally I would probably do beforehand. But like I said, I was trying all of these things earlier and they just did not look so great. So I thought, okay, fake it till you make it. You're gonna figure it out. So one way or another, we're gonna figure it out together. Alrighty, I'm gonna take a little bit of this and kind of come over here on the little white tip. Just give it a little perimeter shading so far. Y'all, I also, today, hey Alma, how are you? In trying to kind of figure out what I was gonna be doing tonight, I even tried to paint the cat black, which I honestly thought the black was really cute, but I never could get my finishing touches to kind of look like how I wanted them to look. So then I went back and I realized I already had gray on my color sheet that we, you know, post on the back of all of our pieces. And so I really feel bad whenever I post that color sheet and then I, you know, change those colors, which I already did change it a little bit because I did add that sky blue and then I added a little bit of medium blue. So I kind of thought, okay, well, that's enough. You know, don't do too much as far as changing what you're originally doing, because if anybody's already bought this and maybe bought the paint for it, you know, that could be really frustrating if we tell you, hey, I'm going to use this paint, I'm going to use that, and then turns out I don't. So I didn't want to put that on people. Let me see. I'm going to come in here, just give it a little bit. The reason I'm using this shader, this is a 1/2 inch, I would say it's close to like a 10 or 12, is just because it gives me a little bit of a thinner line. And this cat has a lot of little details, so I really wanted that thinner line so that you'd be able to end up seeing all of those details. So right now, just a little bit of perimeter shading. And now I'm going to go ahead and get my rake brush. Like I said, typically you would do this in the opposite order, but for me, I really didn't know what I was going to be doing tonight because I was really struggling with that outlook of what I was wanting. And so we're gonna just figure it out together. Because I had no idea what I was doing until I got live. And y'all, I'm live and I still don't know what I'm doing. We're just gonna do it together. All right, y'all, I got that rake brush, okay? I know we've talked about this when I've showed it to you guys before. It's got a lot of these, the bristles are kind of chipped out of here, okay? And so that's going to be able to give you a nice fur kind of look to it. So I'm just going to kind of bring this in and give it some little wisps. I don't want to end up doing too much, so get a little bit. I don't know if anybody's used their rake brush yet, but it's really easy to go overboard with the rake brush. So to me, I like to do smaller, shorter strokes on it, and then it'll give you more of that look that you're going for. Get a little bit more. I'm really just putting it on the tips of my brush, and then I'm wiping it right back off on my lid. Hi Kitty, how are you? So good y'all can join me tonight. Y'all, this is my first live painting in my art room. I have always painted really outside of my workspace, closer to my door. And I used to have to do that because our internet was so terrible that we had to kind of set me up really close to the door because this is a metal building. And so your connection's not all that great in here. And so we ended up having some people come out and they put in all new Wi-Fi, new wiring, new everything. And I'm actually not using my Verizon hotspot tonight. This is my first live on my regular Wi-Fi. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully there's not a big lag or anything like that. But tonight's kind of like a first of many. And I'm just so excited to be in my art room. I even have my heater on. And I'm just happy to be here. Zach's in there trying to mess with that machine. We can't get it to cut right now. We've been having a lot of issues. And I hope y'all don't hear it, but he's been in his shop over here dropping some F-bombs left and right because he's not been having much fun. He's only been home, what, 2 hours now? And he's literally been working on the machine for 2 hours after work all day, you know, so you know he's tired. Ooh, okay. Now, when it comes to my face, this is part of why I think I struggle a lot. Whenever I go to start doing my swish marks, I always, in my own head, I kind of struggle with what direction to take those. So I'm gonna just kind of follow my head around. Just give it a little bit of a pop here. Now up here, I'm also going to come back with some like lighter gray, and then on this gray, I'll come back with a little bit of white and lighten it up a little bit. Yeah, see, I'm already not liking that, but I'm going to have to just let it go sometimes, y'all. Have y'all ever been painting something and you're just going, I don't care for that, but I don't know what to do. That's been me with this cat all day. I think this cat is so cute, y'all. It's so cute. I just have like I think it's like a mental block because I know I struggle with the animals, and I just think it's one of those things that I kind of I get in my own way. You know, I'm my own worst enemy and my own worst critic when it comes to all of it. And I really prevent myself a lot of times from believing, you know, that I'm doing a good job. And so I don't know if anybody else struggles like that. But if you do, I just wanted you to know you're not alone. So, hey Christine, how are you, honey? All right, y'all. I think as far as, okay, so this is that darker gray, right? All it took was our regular gray number 24 and a little bit of black. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this up. Also, y'all, I took this table and I painted it black because I've been noticing when I have that ring light, which I don't have today, but the lighting always seems kind of funky. So I thought if I darkened the table, maybe y'all would be able to see it better. So I'm really hoping that this looks better as far as the lighting, as far as y'all's ability to see everything. But, you know, let me know if it's still not working out too well. Let's see. Mary says, the whole world does. Yes, it's like an imposter syndrome, you know, like you don't feel like you know what you're talking about or you know what you're doing sometimes. You're like, I just can't. I'm not the professional, you know, and you always just feel like you can't do something right because, yeah, I feel like that all the time. It's imposter syndrome. It's not real. I just have to tell myself it's not real. Victoria says, I have to see the finished product in my head before I start painting. I get that, and I think I really struggled to see that. So I think the black table's good. Awesome. Okay, y'all. I am going to, while I already have my rake brush out, I am going to go ahead and get out a little bit of white and do the same thing. I'm keeping the rake brush. By the way, this rake brush is a 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter. It's a Moderna by Royal and Langnickel, or is that how you say it? Langnickel? Yeah. So Royal is the same company that we get our script liners from. So same thing. I think I got this at, I know I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I want to say it was $8. So if you're looking for a rake brush, you want to try something out, something a little different, you know, this might be the one for you. See, this is why I like the rake brush too. Just a little, it's hard to see that. But you see the white lines I just kind of added inside of that ear? It just really starts to help bring it up. So that rake brush can really do a lot. Kind of just gonna sit there and bring in, I also went ahead, I already have some wet paint there, y'all, so I kind of just brought in that gray that's there and a little bit of white and kind of feathered it into those ears with that rake brush and just trying to kind of bring your piece to life a little bit. So let me get some more white. Actually, I got a little bit of gray on here, so let me clean that out, get a little more white. And again, you only are using a little bit. Notice my tips, you can still see in between them. I don't have so much paint that you cannot see in between those tips. So Mary says, you are the professional at being you, and that is all that is required. Oh, you're so sweet, Mama. I love you. Y'all, I have the best mother in the world. I even told my husband, I said, dude, if something ever happens to my mom, you're gonna have to get some lessons on how to help me come off the edge whenever I'm freaking out. Because whatever it is, I can call my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm having a moment, you know, and I can be on the phone with her for 5 minutes, and I get off and I'm calm again. And so I've told my husband for a really long time, like, you've got to figure out how to talk to me, because whatever it is, my mom knows how to talk to me. She knows how to relate to me. So, all right, let's see. I'm just gonna kind of, where I've already come in with that, that darker gray, I'm really just coming over top of that with a little bit of the white. I'm picking up a lot of gray in this brush, so it's kind of hard right now because I've got a lot of wet paint on here to really get that white to come through. Let's see, I'm gonna have to just work on it a little bit. And the key with the rake brush is really light, soft strokes. Also, short strokes would be most beneficial. Don't try to take your brush all the way across a piece. Just do real short little strokes, and then it'll help you to really get that kind of like fur effect from it. Pam says, love that look. Thank you, Pam. Hey, Tiffany, how are you? I'm so glad you're here. All right, and get a little bit more white. And again, repeat the same process down here at the bottom. And all I'm doing right now is really just kind of adding another color on top of that darker gray. So I'm kind of trying to lighten it up and bring a little depth and dimension to the piece. I'm gonna leave it like that, y'all. I'll just leave it. Actually, I might take a little bit more white up here in the ears. I think these ears look really good. I pulled a lot of that gray in. There we go. Oh, the ears are really cute. I pulled a lot of that gray into those ears, so now I'm trying to just come over top with a little bit of white. Show you up close. Kind of getting that fur effect that's coming in, you know, to the inside of that ear. Hey Connie, Connie says, Ashley really does have the best mom in the world. When Mary realized she was 3 minutes late for Ashley's live. Oh, hold on. My thing goes, I hate how it gives you the ... She rushed off the phone to get to her baby's live. Aw, that's because my mommy loves me. I'm telling you, I really have the best mom. I don't know that anybody has a better mom. Okay, putting that rake brush up. Now I'm gonna kind of let the fur dry a little bit. I'm gonna get that same shader I already used. It's a 1/2 inch shader, close to a number 10 or a number 12. I'd say closer to a 12. Dry it out a little bit. And we're gonna go ahead and get our pink and our heart and our sky blue shaded. So I'm gonna kind of work right here in the middle before I work my way to the outside. So this is your regular shading pink. It does have a little bit of water added to it. I'm just gonna kind of stir it and make sure. I might wanna add a little bit, not too much. If you feel that the shading pink is too dark, you can always do, take shading pink and a little bit of your regular pink, light pink, and mix them together, and you'll come up with a color in the middle. That's it. I already actually have it mixed. I'll just show you guys. It looks almost like a Pepto color, but you can mix the two together and kind of have a middle tone. Let me see if I want that middle. Ooh, you know what? I think I'm gonna stick with the middle tone actually. We're gonna do the middle tone. So let me show y'all how to mix that. I'm gonna take a little bit of shading pink, and then we're gonna do a little bit of light pink, if I have some. It's across my room. Hold on, y'all. I was working on my Valentine's hearts for tomorrow, and I left my pink over there. So a little bit of shading pink with light pink. We're gonna mix it together, and we're gonna create a lighter pink, because I'm really looking at this, and that contrast is beautiful. Because your cat is on the darker side, I almost want to keep those lighter colors on the lighter side and let that kind of, the cat shine through, if that makes any sense. Okay. So I got a mixture here that's in between shading and light pink. I'm gonna just take that, just dip in the corner of my brush. Oh, that's a really pretty color. I really like that. It's not too dark. It's not too bold. It's really pretty. I don't know if you guys could see, but I actually painted this bow originally that sky blue. And whenever I had it done, like meaning I had it all base coated, I kind of felt like that blue needed to be more at the bottom as opposed to in the middle of the piece. And so I ended up changing it and making the bow pink. So look at that pink shading. It's not near as dark, obviously, as that shading pink. It's a lot lighter. So, hey Lori, how are you doing? So just mix your two pinks together, guys, and you can get this lighter kind of shading color here. Take a little bit of here. I'm gonna come in and the little pads on the bottom of the kitty's feet. Add a little depth to that. All right, let's see. Same thing over here. I'm gonna even take a little brush stroke. Trying to make sure you guys can see. not always the best at keeping my camera in frame. Just add a few little strokes there. Now on my ears, I probably should have done that before I did that hair kind of look, but I'll just kind of fade it off a little early, meaning I'm going to come off that surface before I start covering the little painted part. So just take a look, a little bit of that shading, or it's really a mixture between shading pink and light pink. Alrighty, now move these aside. I am going to clean out my brush, and we are going to shade our little Valentine heart, and then we'll shade our bed, and I'll do a little bit of blow drying before we move on. So Victoria says, I painted the bow blue. When you are finished, I'll show you mine with the blue bow. Vicki, I'm kind of glad you didn't show me before, because then I might be, it might have made it worse on me. I might have been trying to recreate what you did. And a lot of times I kept telling myself today, and that's kind of what I was trying to do. I was trying to do something different than I normally do, and it wasn't working for me, and I was getting incredibly frustrated. And then I started having to tell myself, you're comparing yourself to what other people can do. You're comparing how you paint to how other people paint, and that's what starts, you know, in my own mind, really upsetting me. Not upsetting, but kind of it becomes a frustration thing when I'm not able to do that. And I think a lot of that's just anxiety. I deal with anxiety constantly. It's not something that I feel ever leaves me. And so a lot of times I have to kind of have conversations with my own self and talk myself down, because I'm my own worst enemy. I rile myself up, and there's just no sense in that. Like, it's painting, it's fun, I love painting, I know how to paint. You know, but getting myself riled up earlier is like, why? I shouldn't be doing that. So I finally just gave up, and I said, well, we're going to figure out what this is going to look like together. Comparing steals your joy. Yes, exactly. And I swear, y'all, I could hear my mom telling me that in the back of my head whenever I was struggling with this earlier. And I honestly, the next time I struggle, I really just need to take photos. And so I can show you guys, y'all, I've been doing this a long time, and I still paint stuff that doesn't look great, you know, sometimes, and doesn't come out the way I intended it to come out. And so, you know, there's been many a times where I repaint stuff, or I just throw it away and put it on the burn pile and restart. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the one thing that is wrong for me is when I start comparing myself. It's a comparison is a thief. It really is. Nobody needs that. So I'll paint the way I've always painted, and that's okay. And I don't need to be anybody else or be able to do what other people can do, because I do what I can do. So, oh, this is gonna be so cute, y'all. I like this. It's adorable. I think we all do that. Yes, Lori. See, I knew I wasn't alone, but you know, I don't know about other people. I know I've talked about depression and anxiety a lot, you know, on lives. It's just part of me and part of who I am, and I don't mind being open and vocal about that, but something I guess that keeps me or hinders me from being as open and vocal about my struggles is the fact that I think normal day society that we live in is, you know, you're not supposed to talk about stuff like that. You know, mental health is supposed to be really private and that sort of thing. And it is private, but when you're somebody who struggles, the worst part is keeping it private, because then that really keeps you there. It keeps you down. It keeps you really low. And so depression has been something for me that I've really struggled with. Like last year, I was really, really struggling for a while. And I feel better right now, but I already know it's a matter of time before it comes back, right? And so I've really just been trying to just be more open about it and talk about it a little bit more and take that taboo kind of stigma away from it. And I think personally, when I talk to people, I start to realize a lot of people have the same issues I have. But because we don't talk about it, you know, we don't know about it. And so I've started to just be a little bit more open with my own struggles when I'm around people, and I feel like, you know, the conversation can lend itself. And it's crazy to me that every time I have those conversations with people around me, they're like, oh, me too. Me too. I've been struggling for months and I've not told anybody, and, you know, that sort of thing. And I'm like, man, y'all, there's so many of us that struggle. And I wish that, you know, it was more of a norm to be able to talk about it and be able to be really open and honest with people. And so for me, I don't mind being open and honest about it. It's a part of me, unfortunately. It's something I've always dealt with, and it's gonna be something I always deal with. So, let's see. Victoria says, all famous artists never like their work. Da Vinci destroyed his work that he wasn't happy with, and that's why there are some people who can get too judgmental and tend to keep quiet about our problems. So true, so true. Mary says, nope, always, always, always give a voice to your emotions, as that voice is what helps those negative emotions diminish. So true, so true. Y'all, this is exactly why I say I have the best mom. She's got like the best advice. Always. In fact, I was talking to her this morning, and just, you know, like a talk, because not anything in particular. I used to be able to call her every morning, but we've been so busy for like months, it seems. So we really haven't gotten to have a lot of our regular, you know, kind of coffee talks type thing. And so I was talking to her this morning, and, you know, she was like, man, my phone's not stopped ringing, and everybody needs me and needs questions and da-da-da-da-da. And later on, my husband called, and he's like, oh man, we're having an issue. What it is we're selling our truck. And we ordered him a new truck that's supposed to come in a couple of weeks. So the guy buying his truck is supposed to be buying it tomorrow. So Zach called the county, you know, at the tax office, trying to figure out where to go and all that. And they're like, oh, you have to make an appointment to come into the tax office, and we're booked up through February. And I was like, what? I said, well, just call my mom. And, oh, wait, hold on. Don't call my mom because she's tired of answering everybody's questions. But hey, I called her and asked her, and she helped me out. So moms are for. So, okay, y'all. Sorry, I was just off on a tangent. I feel like that squirrel brain of mine gets me. Down here on my sky blue, I just used a little bit of teal shading. So here's what we got so far. I'm gonna hit it with a blow dryer. And let's get it to dry a little bit, and then we'll start outlining. Deborah says, thank you for being so honest. No problem, my dear. Anytime. My mom says, sometimes your dad doesn't think so. Yeah, I could see that. No, I can't 100% say that I'm really liking this. I mean, I like the bow, I like that. I can't 100% say I'm liking the fur, but we're gonna roll with it. Let's see, my mom says, I try to encourage her to always do that. Yes, to be honest. Y'all, it's hard. You know how hard it is to be vulnerable, right? Because when you're really talking about the depths of yourself, your brain, your thoughts, you know, your mental struggles, all of that, you have to be really, really vulnerable. And being vulnerable is not easy. It's not comfortable. It is incredibly uncomfortable. But sometimes I think, you know, what we're going through really warrants that need. There we go. Okay, that would make sense. I didn't have it on hot. So Debbie says, practice, practice, practice. Yes, yes, yes. So true. Okay, I'm trying to think. I don't think I want, maybe I will. I think I will outline in black. Originally, I thought I was going to outline in shading gray, but I really, something's just telling me to go with black. So I'm going to go with black. This is my Royal Gold Script Liner number 4, y'all. The same one you guys always see me use. No, I have not changed. No, I have not bought a new brush. I'm still working with the same old one. Maybe next year I'll buy a new brush. In fact, I actually have a lot of new ones over here on my shelf. I just kind of skip over the new ones to go to my old trusty, my favorite. How many of you guys have an old trusty paintbrush that you love, love, love? I don't know if I'm the only one or if maybe other people have that same, you know, there's just one that you're really, really comfortable with and you really, really like. Oh, well, heck. Okay, you said outline the pink bow and shading pink. Too late. I should have read that earlier. You're right, it probably would have looked good in shading pink, but what can you do about it now? I read it too late. I guess that's what I get for talking and not reading. Okay, let's see. Y'all, I don't know, I can't hear the machine going, but I'm gonna assume we're still having issues. And so I need somebody to say a little prayer, because if we can't get our machine going, then we won't have blanks for our sneak peek next week, which I really need to have. Plus we open on Saturday. And we've been working on Easter blanks. We've got a lot of new Easter patterns coming out. In fact, you guys can go look on Yard or Us. We don't have the photos of everything, but there's at least like a line drawing, like a kind of a PDF, if you will, of those patterns. So if anybody wants to go get a little sneak peek of the sneak peek, you can go find them over there. So on Monday, we're gonna have our sneak peek for Easter. Let's all pray we get our machine going so I can get my stuff cut. So far, I think I got three of the Easter patterns done. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe 4, not enough. Still got several more to go. But also we have the guy who set up our CNC and actually did the training for us is supposed to be coming in next week, which is good timing, because you know when something's going wrong and you can't get your machine to work, obviously getting somebody here who knows what to do is a high priority. So hoping Zach can get it figured out, but if not, luckily Chris will be here next week. Let me turn. I might come back and do some wisps here in a little bit, but right now, honestly, I want to just kind of get all of the outlining done and take a really good look at it, and then decide what I want to do from there. Why is Chris coming? Well, Chris, I've been only calling him for like months, asking him to when the next time he's coming to Houston, because our machine is 4 years old, and Zach and I, first off, Zach has a full-time job. He builds apartments for a living. He's a superintendent for a construction company. And so this machine is not Zach's full-time job, nor is it mine. My full-time job is really, you know, painting and yard art and all that, which running the machine is part of it. However, neither of us know the maintenance to do on the machine. And since it's 4 years old, we've not done any maintenance in 4 years.
And it's really just one of those things that we want to prolong the life of our machine. But we've also had a lot of like little hiccups kind of along the way. And so having him come and, you know, help us kind of troubleshoot that is really beneficial for us. But right now, we've been having a lot of issues. Like our machine crashed, I think 4 times last night. It crashed twice this morning until I finally threw up my hands and I told Tony, the guy who works for me, he runs my CNC for me. I finally just told him, shut the machine off. I'm done. I can't take it anymore. And so, what is that noise? Zach messing with the CNC. He's trying to get it going. He's not having any luck. It's not working, y'all. So, you know, mechanical issues, whatever can go wrong will go wrong eventually. So, it's kind of what we're seeing right now. This little kitty has a lot of fur, a lot of kind of like jaggedy edges, so it's not the, I can't just go run my paintbrush across real fast. It's got a lot of smaller strokes, so I'm trying to just slow down a little bit and make sure I get all them strokes in. Okay, now, that's okay. I fixed it. Had a little boo-boo there. By the way, guys, I now have my sink literally located like 4 feet away from me. So, super excited about that. I'm super excited about the AC and heater I have in here now. Super excited that my lighting is a lot better. We got 24 recessed can lights put in my room. So if you can't see after that, I don't know what to tell you, right? So this has been kind of that dream paint shop for me. I'm really loving it. So I told everybody that's coming to work tomorrow, by the end of the day tomorrow, I want it all cleaned up. Which it's been a real big mess for weeks now because obviously construction, it's gonna be messy. But we've got a lot of it cleaned up today. And so we don't have much more to go. Hoping tomorrow we'll be done. Close to done at least. Okay, I'm just gonna flip it around. I'm gonna drink of water, y'all. It's getting perched. Okay. What's everybody been working on? Has anybody been painting? Have y'all been working on any of your Valentine stuff yet? I've not seen anybody posting any photos, so I don't know if anybody's been working on their stuff. But I'm curious, because Valentine's is like a month away. Well, a month and a week, I guess you could say. It's not necessarily a month. But if it's anything like last year, it'll fly by, and then we'll blink our eyes, and it'll be Valentine's. We're getting there, y'all. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Let's see, Alma says, I bought a script liner and started practicing. It's a game changer. For sure, Alma. Definitely. Script liner, I'm going to say between, my favorite brush would be the script liner and the mop brush. I love those two. They really can do a lot. I mean, honestly, all brushes can do a lot, but those are my two favorites to kind of mess with. So Pam says, I'm working on the Valentine's gnome and the welcome sign. Awesome! You've got to post some photos when you get done with those. I cannot wait to see. I've not seen, like I said, I've not seen anybody posting, and it didn't really dawn on me until I sat here talking about it, and then I'm going, well, I wonder if anybody's working on it. I've actually got, I think I got like 24 or so Valentine's gnomes painted. They're here at my house. I haven't taken them to Pearline yet. And I've got some spring gnomes and Easter trucks and Easter chicks and all sorts of stuff I've been working on. Easter crosses. So I'm going to have to make a trip to Pearline. Actually, I'll have to make 2 trips this week if I can get my CNC running. So I'll take one trip with all my painted stuff I've been working on, and then another trip for all the blanks. Because it ends up being quite a bit of stuff. And I could try to pile them all in, but then I end up getting my painted pieces damaged. And I don't know if anybody out there or any of y'all have painted a piece and then like it got scraped up or scuffed up and it got damaged, and you know how disheartening that is, you know, when your piece gets messed up. It's not fun. And so me personally, I'd rather drive and make 2 trips than to damage my stuff. I don't want to damage my stuff. So especially not after I've put hours of work into it, you know. It's not something that feels very good. So, y'all, I feel like this is taking me forever to outline. I think I'm just like a sloth right now. Okay, move on to a little on the eyes. Don't know. I was about to come and bring this black up along that blue, but I don't even want to. I'm going to come in and just kind of I'm trying to look at that. I'll leave it for right now. What I'm sitting here in my own head and contemplating is bringing a black line in between the blue and the white, but I kind of like the way it's looking, so I think I might leave it. If anything, I can always come back in later and, you know, slap a line on there and it's no big deal. Then do the same. Really, this line where I'm bringing this black paint, I don't have a line there. Kind of just making that up with my brush, but I'm just trying to create those eyeballs. Those are really cute. Alma says, I'm working on the sign with the wiener dog. It was not easy. I need to buy the gnomes. You know, Alma, I don't know if you think of that. You know, for me, I seem to struggle with the animals, so maybe it's an animal thing that's a little bit more difficult, because I feel like animals can be a little bit more difficult. Let's see, Lori says, what is your choice of wood, as I'm not able to find MDO local? Mary says, you can buy some of the best grade plywood, and you can find and seal the edges with an edge sealer. Lori, I want to say, Mary, help me out here. I want to say Mary had made a video about the different types of wood that you can use. Like, for instance, if you cannot get MDO, like, what is your next best option? I want to say there's a video that we've made. Not 100% sure. Maybe Mary will chime in. Deborah says, that is beautiful. Thank you, Deborah. You're so sweet. Yo, when you're really struggling with a pattern, you know, and you really just don't know what to do, it's just, to me, it's always so funny that by the time you finally get done with it, it does come together. It just takes a little bit of patience. And y'all, me and patience are not always friends. I mean, we don't get along very much. I'm trying to work on that, but so far not very successful. Also, I need a lot of coffee to have patience, and I don't happen to have any of that around right now. Now, guys, y'all also could come in here and do some low lights with this black throughout the fur. But if I'm being 100% honest with you guys, I'm not going to, because really, I don't know where to place it. Like I've told you, I kind of, when it comes to animals and it comes to fur, I just don't feel as confident in my confidence of where to place the low lights. I just don't feel that I have it, so I'd rather leave it alone for now. Now, that doesn't mean that like tomorrow I might walk out here and I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh, go add a stroke here or add a stroke there, because I'm known to do that often. But for right now, I think I'm gonna leave it as far as that goes and kind of look on it the next day or so and see, you know, if something comes to mind that I feel would be a little better. Trying to decide if I want a black line right here. I don't know that I do, but I'm gonna do it anyways. There we go. I almost thought not to do it, but then I don't know that it would look finished. Alright, there is with the black so far. Oh, it is getting really cute, y'all. Okay, well, it's kind of cute. I like it, I like it. Victoria says, Kitty is looking so cute. Thank you, Victoria. That means a lot. Mary says, I hesitate to say the specific type of wood is the best because sometimes the quality of the wood, the store, hold on, it's cutting off. Sometimes the quality of the wood at the store is hit or miss. That is very true. Generally speaking, the more expensive, the better the grade is. She's talking about wood. And then Victoria says, I often place the work 10 to 12 feet away and squint my eyes to look at it. Then I may see something else I need to change. So true, Victoria, so true. To me, usually I just wait a day or so and I'm like, and I do. I leave it in the room and I'll be looking at it in the room while I'm working on something else. And then all of a sudden, sometimes it'll just snap to me like, oh, go make a couple of brush strokes, do X, Y, Z, and it'll really make it pop. So, still using my script liner, I'm just going to switch over and get a little bit of white and bring in some highlights. Now, the black on the eyes is really, really wet. I don't know that I can really get it to dry, but I like to do the little white dot on those eyes. Hopefully that's enough to not have it spill it, or what is the word I'm trying to think of? I can't even think of the word. The paint kind of fans out on me. I'm gonna bring a little bit in here. I'm gonna flip it and do my letters right quick. When it comes to using the script liner, for me personally, trying to do angles like this, I can't do in one stroke. So I kind of break it up into a few different strokes. But it's not like, you know, doing the perimeter of something that you can really do it in one swoop. This, you got to take it a couple of different strokes at a time. Y'all, this is really, really cute. I want to say too, Victoria, did you draw this pattern? I want to say you did. And it is precious. Victoria gave us a lot of new patterns. The A lot of our Valentine's patterns were drawn by her. And they're so cute. Oh, so cute. Come in here a little bit, kind of lighten up that bow. So I did that black outline on that bow. You could always obviously do a shading pink outline on there if you didn't want it to be so dark. But my hands moved a little fast, and that's kind of what I ended up with. Now, remember I told you all the low lights I don't feel as comfortable doing right now because I just don't see it in my head? I don't mind doing that with some highlights though. Whatever it is when it comes to highlights, I guess I feel a little more comfortable with them. So the placement of them doesn't always, you know, escape my mind, kind of like a feeling like the low lights are right now. And take a little bit of pink too and kind of come in here. Almost done, y'all. I'm gonna call it a day. Let me show you guys up close. I love these ears. Just used a rake brush to kind of bring some of that fur into it. And that is my finished look. What do you guys think? Let's see, Victoria says, yes, she did draw this one. It's inspired by one of the Valentines from the 1950s. Lori says she's super cute. Reminds me of the older Valentine cards. I knew what you meant, Vicki. She said 1950, not 2950. Totally knew what you meant. I totally get it. Okay, y'all. So as a quick review, I did 2 coats of white. The reason I did 2 coats is because I use a roller. I use a roller because I do a lot of pieces at a time. So if you are using a mop brush to prime your piece, you might not have to do 2 coats. You might be able to get away with 1. But I did 2 coats of white. And then I came in with doing my prime colors. I did gray, I want to say it's number 24. Light pink on my ears, my bow, and the paws, or the pads of the cat paws. I did sky blue on the bed, and red number 20 on our Valentine heart. This little tiny blue sliver on the eyes is medium blue. I think it's medium blue number 4, and I want to say sky blue is number 1. And from there, I just used a rake brush and script liner and shader, and that was it. And she is done. She is really cute. Y'all, I'm a little more impressed than I thought it was going to come out like, because I was not feeling super confident after repainting this 4 times today, trying to get it to come out. But now I think she's really cute. So let's see. Mary says, I love it. Debbie, love it. Pam, love it. Deborah, you are so talented. Alma, precious. Thank y'all. Y'all are so sweet. I love you guys. Okay, y'all, that is it for me tonight. I will be live tomorrow at 2 p.m. and we are doing our conversation hearts and the, is that? Oh no, that's on my phone. I was about to say I saw something black. And the Happy Valentine's Day heart. So join me at 2 tomorrow in Painters Club, and that's what we are going to be working on. And I want to say Victoria has a live on Sunday. I think it's the Cuckoo Birdhouse. So lots of new things coming out. Also on Monday, we're going to have our sneak peek for Easter. Y'all cross your fingers and pray for me that my husband can get the CNC running, because it's now probably been 3 hours and it's still not running. So hopefully, but either way, I'll see y'all tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the Painters Club, and we will work on our Valentine's hearts. Until then, see you guys later. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night. Bye, everybody.